their power and their poise. I really wanted to do that one day, but it was just one of those things that was on my to-do list. Eventually I would get to it. It really wasn't a priority until one Veterans Day. I had recently moved to Atlanta, and I was volunteering with the Women's Veterans Organization. I was invited to be a part of the board of directors. I remember the day that I got a call, and when I was invited, it was such an honor and privilege that they would even consider something like that for me. But I knew that the position meant, like the saying, for whom much is given, much is required. And that was okay. I was up for the challenge. So the biggest event that we had every year was a Veterans Day dinner at a really fancy restaurant downtown, where there was power-packed guests, prestigious leaders in the veteran community. I was really looking forward to this event, and we worked on it the entire year. The day before the event, the president sent an email to all the board members asking for a really short bio that they were going to introduce to the guests during the event. Great. One of my fellow board members had the brilliant idea that each board member should speak after the announcer read their bio. So this presented two issues. The first one, I didn't have a bio. So what I did was I decided to type up about a paragraph. I figured that would be enough, right? So the second issue was I had never spoken in front of a group of respected individuals like the people that I would encounter on that day. I was nervous just thinking about it, but I didn't have much time to dwell on it because there were lots of work to do. It was the day before the event, and I had a lot of last-minute errands that I was running. So the day of the event happened. All the board members came with their bios in tow. Their bios looked something like a newspaper, and mine was only a paragraph. It was a good paragraph, but it was only one paragraph. I began to get anxious at the thought of the 30 seconds that it would take to read through my paragraph as a bio, and the 10 minutes it would take to read through theirs. But again, I didn't have much time to think about it. It was the day of the event, and we had tons of things to do. We had to greet the guests, prep the staff, make sure everyone was in assigned seating. Before I knew it, it was showtime. The host called the guests to order and dove right into the program. It seems like a matter of milliseconds before she was introducing the board members. As I was sitting in my seat, I started to get really nervous. Like, not a little nervous. I had sweat rolling down my face the size of bullets. My hands started shaking. My palms got a little sweaty. I remember thinking I didn't prepare anything. I don't know what to say. I don't know why I would say anything. What makes me qualified to stand in front of these women to say anything at all? The first thing I really wanted to do was run out of there. But I couldn't run. So I walked. I walked politely to the restroom for about 15 minutes. That was my place of refuge. I could actually hear them calling my name. CJ Walker. Has anyone seen her? Where's her? Where's CJ? Anyone seen her? I stayed in the restroom just long enough for my speaking opportunity to pass. Yes, I went AWOL on my speaking opportunity. Luckily, I stayed in there long enough for it to pass. The program went on and everything was fine. But I left that event that night knowing I could no longer run and hide in restrooms when I was presented with the opportunity to speak. So you know what I did? I joined Toastmasters the very next month. I vowed I would never run from an opportunity again. I would never hide in the restroom again. So I became really active in my club. I volunteered for roles, got a couple speeches under my belt. I was getting the hang of this Toastmaster thing. And about a year had passed. I felt like I was evolving into a better speaker, a better leader, and overall, a better person. So here it is again, November. The Veterans Day dinner was up again. And guess what? This time I actually spoke. I didn't hide in the restroom at all. I spoke. And if I may say so myself, I spoke really well. And I was pretty proud of myself. But I understood that the only reason why I was able to speak in front of these individuals was because of my membership with Toastmasters. I know that when I see speakers, I want to be like them. But it's one thing to sit in the seat, to want to be like them. And I felt like I had done the proper things to take action, to develop myself as a better speaker and a better leader. Ultimately, Toastmasters has allowed me to become a participant in the public speaking game. And now I feel like I'm closer to being the speaker that I once admired from the crowd. And that's why I became a Toastmaster.